Hi folks, it's Friday afternoon and I've just finished looking at the Higher Maths Leaving Cert Paper 1 that students sat this afternoon. This was always going to be a topic of interest because of the very, very strange, very stressful, very difficult year that we've had. The changes that were made to the exam this year in that you had a choice of questions for the first time in roughly 10 years and also a smaller number of questions to be done in the same length of time. This meant that students were able to do, they only had to do 4 questions in section A out of a total of 6, and 2 out of 4 questions in section B. Now, that meant that students were going to have 20 minutes roughly, give or take a few seconds, to do a question that students in other years were only allowed 12 and a half minutes to do. And the fear among teachers was certainly that maybe some of the questions would actually end up being longer on account of that. Well, actually, that's not the way it turned out. They turned out to be roughly the same length, which was great news. Also, the section B questions, where normally you would have had for a 15-minute question, you would have had 25 minutes in the past. Students now had 34 minutes to do one of those. And again, the fear was that they would be longer, and they weren't. Okay. Now, in section 1, where there were 4 questions to be done out of 6, the most obvious ones, the appealing ones, were questions 2, 4, and 5, and I think most students would have done them. They were very manageable, short, and on relatively familiar topics, algebra and a little bit of calculus and all that. After that, students would probably have done either question 1 or question 3. Question 6 would probably have been seen as being a little bit challenging. Of the 4 questions then in section B, the one that would immediately have attracted attention would have been question 8, the second question in section B. This was a straightforward calculus question on roller coasters, the motion of a roller coaster. After that, students comfortable with exponential functions would probably have done question 9. Failing that, some students would have done question 7. Most students, I think, would steer clear of question 10. So all in all, quite a manageable paper 1 in terms of both length and in terms of content. And I hope that it set you all up very, very nicely for paper 2 on Monday. Now, even if you think it didn't set you up nicely, even if you think you didn't do well, please bear in mind that with the year that's in it, it's going to be marked in a very, very, very understanding way. And if you think you didn't do well, don't assume that, okay? Don't assume that. And now you can spend some of the weekend anyway, depending on what other subjects you have, going through the maths for paper 2. And we all hope that paper 2 will be as fair and as generous as that paper 1 was. Best of luck over the weekend and best of luck on Monday.